How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? It's Eclipse here, and today's biggest update news is here. We're going to go through everything you need to know about the most recent update when it's come into the game. We're going to play some games in the Stoig 33B, the original or the first German tank destroyer for that brand new line leading up to the Sturm Tiger. Yes, that 1700 alpha damage gun with the 38 centimeter. Yeah, we're going to work our way towards that in the next couple of videos, and hopefully you'll enjoy the content as we go. Obviously, I've used a little bit of free XP to be able to get the Stoig for this video, but we're going to go through all of the information for the update and try and show you what these new tanks are like. And I mean, using this thing, we've upgraded it fully, so we are fully upgraded in this thing. And we're going to be able to hopefully have some decent gameplay live in the background. This is the first game, and we're going to really talk about what the tanks are like, what their accuracy figures are like, because trust me, they are awful within the game. They are really bad, to be honest with you. You probably won't be shooting very many things very accurately indeed at long ranges, so that's kind of the problem that these new tanks have when you're playing in World of Tanks console, Modern Armour, whatever you want to call it. You know, the PS4 and Xbox version, yes, because apparently we're console peasants, whatever you want to call it. But anyway, moving on, what are the actual content that we've got this week? Well, as with all this last October Earn Challenge, we were able to get the T54E2, so that is the American Tier 8 heavy tank that you can get for free at the moment if you manage to grind out your way to the end of the tank, or the end of the operation. You get it for free. It's a pretty decent, solid American heavy tank, and along with that we've got a few new things that come into the game in terms of the operations. We've got a free XP conversion bonus, so you'll be able to actually get more XP when you convert your free XP. Would I ever recommend doing that? Well, no, not really, but I mean, there is a brand new tank line, and that seems to coincide very nicely with it. It wouldn't be like wargaming to try and monetize a brand new free tank line by making you potentially spend money on converting free XP to be able to get the tank line faster and before anyone else, but you know, we won't criticise too much. Anyway, what else do we have? Well, of course, we've got the E50M line getting buffed, and I mean considerably buffed as well. Really big buffs for that line. It's going to be very nice to see, and of course you'll have to kind of check that out yourself. We've made an absolute disgusting misplay here. We're probably dead, so yeah, it's not so fun. Unfortunately didn't pen, but there we go. That really went well. Playing our first game, we went way too aggressive to know what I was doing there. But anyway, moving swiftly onwards, the E50M line, and talking about the E50M, let's have a look at the tanks in the garage. It's kind of worked out quite well. Essentially, what's happened with the E50M is the turret armor has just got much better. And if you watch yesterday's video going over the detailed statistics of all of the tanks and what changed within them, well, you'll see that the Panther line and all of the additional tanks leading up to the E50M got different guns. So you'll see that actually the Panther no longer has the 88 apparently. So now you can get a top gun with this 7.5 centimeter. It's got much better accuracy. It's got decent more damage. You've got better penetration as well. And so that kind of continues right the way through to the next tank, the Panther 2, and then all the way up to the E50M. The whole entire line pretty much gets a big upgrade for you guys if you actually want to play it. And of course the turret armor has been buffed on a lot of these German tanks, so you'll be playing the E50M and not getting penned automatically in the turret by every single person that you face now. It'll probably just be the ones that are maybe the same tier or higher than you that are going to be able to pen your turret very reliably. So yeah, I guess that's kind of a benefit for the E50 and the E50M. Anyway, what else has come with this big update? Well, of course, it is the arms race season, so you can see that the season has now come to a close. In typical wargaming fashion, they're trying to monetize it even further by allowing you to have a cooling off period, or what they like to call as overtime. 6 days worth, well, 6 and a bit days worth of essentially where you can only purchase levels and you can't actually advance any further. There's no season challenges, so wherever you ended up on the season, that is it, and you're going to have to either purchase to get your way to tier 100, which I would never really recommend unless you were maybe tier 99 or tier 98 and you had the spare gold to be able to get those 2 premium tanks at level 100, so it's kind of worth it in that regard. But if you haven't already, yeah, maybe purchase your way to the tier 100 if you're like maybe 97 onwards, but before then you're going to be paying a stupid amount of gold just to get some more premium tanks that you probably won't play, especially considering they're kind of like Cold War tanks. T-55A is a World War II, but yeah, it's not particularly great premium vehicle that you have to get your hands on, if that makes sense. But anyway, moving onward, what else have we got? Well, of course, we get every week the bundles, and we're going to have a look at those in just a second. So the key ones really, I guess, with this month is to do with the kind of super savings and what you can actually get within this. And, you know, every week where you get your personal offer in quotation marks that every single person in the game gets, well, and now you can actually get the KV-122, the Barracuda Emil 51, and the VK-7501K. The only decent one in there, really, I mean, unless you want the KV-122, which is a fairly decent tank, I guess that the Emil Barracuda is probably the better of them all. So that's kind of the one I would go for personally if I'm going to purchase any of them. But anyway, moving on to the bundles, the key kind of feature of the these kind of videos are discussing what the tanks are like, giving you an idea as to what the premiums are like within the game. Well, of course, here we have the charging spearheads, and trust me, I would not really be purchasing this bundle. The Mauer Breaker, the T-34, 2 pretty old and kind of disregarded premium tanks, to be honest with you. Yes, they are, you know, they have their novel features. The T-34 by no means is an awful tank and a terrible one, but it certainly isn't like one that I would recommend to many players as a, you know, a solid tank. It has that turret, but the DPM was pretty poor, though it did get buffed recently, which making it slightly more viable, I guess, but it's kind of a weird tank. And if you like the T-29, but with worse DPM, a tier higher, then maybe you will like the T-34, but take it with a pinch of salt. Don't go thinking it's going to be an amazing vehicle just like the T-29, because it's just not the case. Mauerbreaker, think of a mouse at tier 8, but with no armour, and everyone pens you, and yeah, you're slow as hell. It's pretty much what the Mauerbreaker is. Ask anyone on any World of Tanks game that's played any amount of games within it. Yeah, it's just pretty awful. Object 252U, otherwise known as the Defender, tier 8 Russian or Soviet, whatever you want to call it, premium tank. It is a decent one. It's probably not as overpowered as it is on PC, however it still is very relevant in today's meta. It has that 440 alpha damage for a heavy tank, making it somewhat really nice at tier 8. Yes, if you have the Defender itself, then you probably don't want to pick up the non-skinned version, the Object 252U. Other than that, what else have we got? Well, we've got the Panther 88, which is, trust me, not one you want to be picking up. The SDG, not one you particularly want to be picking up, pretty awful. And the SDRV 81, which is, yet again, a pretty mediocre vehicle. It's just like any of the Centurion premium tanks, but for Sweden. Yeah, not really any of those that I would particularly want you to spend 10,000 gold on, but at the end of the day, it is completely up to you what you spend your money on. I'm just giving my own opinion and trying to curve you in the way of probably the better, actually more competitive tanks and bundles that would play the best in the game. Doesn't mean that you can't have a tank that is awful and would be really, really fun to play. It just is really trying to guide you towards some of the ones that are probably more suited towards the current gameplay within World of Tanks, so that's kind of what these are aimed at. It's not to say that this tank is awful and anyone that plays it is awful. I'm just saying, you know, they're probably not the best tank to be playing if you want to have the best round or carry the game. Within this bundle, the workhorses, T26 E3 Eagle 7, it's a pretty decent tank. It's nothing awful, but yet again, it's probably a little bit lackluster. IS-2 is a fantastic tier 7 Soviet heavy tank, plays very much like the IS, of course, hence why it's the IS-2. I mean, not too many of you will probably take too much trouble to work that one out, but yeah, a fantastic tank. It really is fun to play, and the IS-2 is basically the IS-122, so yeah, definitely a really fun vehicle. And then, of course, the Banshee Comet, one I've always wanted to get, but unfortunately I don't have enough for this bundle. Maybe we'll see that come out at some later date, and maybe I'll be able to pick up a bundle where I have 2 of the other premium tanks, so it'll refund me the gold. I don't know. Or maybe it'll just come on sale for the flat gold price of it. So let's wait and see. Hopefully it comes into the game, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this video so far. Obviously leave your opinions on the most recent update within this video, because you know, it's great to see your comments and see what you have to think about the video, about the update and all of the news and all of the things current around in World of Tanks console. Flanking sixes, however, back to the video, is got the 3 tier 6s, obviously, hence the name, and we're going to be looking at the Poodle, the STRV M42 Alt A2, which is an auto-loading tier 6 Swedish vehicle that is absolutely so fun to play. If you're interested in your auto-loaders and you like tier 6, this is one you almost must have in the game. And then, of course, the Skoda T40, which is it's pretty awful, as well as the Poodle. You know, they're not awful, but they're not competitive, and if you enjoy playing that kind of playstyle, then maybe you want to pick it up. But for me personally, the STRV is the one that you'd want in this bundle. 6,000 gold. I mean, if you're interested in actually just getting a few new tanks that, you know, you don't mind spending a couple of quid for, they're not going to earn you a ton of silver, but they might be fun for you to play and have a whole new novel experience or whatever. But thanks very much. I mean, I guess that's all of the bundles, and I guess that's the end of the video. I mean, yes, I didn't give the new tank very much of a spin, and I'm sure many of you were laughing your socks off at the fact that I got taken out. Yes, I do have awful games too. Don't laugh too hard. But yeah, I guess that is interesting, and certainly more videos will be coming out on that tech tree line as I grind through it. It will take a little bit of time for me to be able to get to the tier 10, because I only have so much free XP, I only have so much time, and I only have so much gold if I was going to spend it, but I'm not going to spend it on free XP. It's just not worth it, and it would cost you a fortune to get to the tier 10. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to check out all of the news and the statistics of these new German Sturmtiger line, then you can check out this video on screen right now on the left, and then the update news for the latest news and all of the information for today as of the recording of this video on the right. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you in one of those videos, and I hope to see your discussions in the comment section down below. Goodbye.